Good morning. This is Skylar. Excuse me. Good morning. This is Morning Sky. I'm Sky, your host. Now we have to talk about the Menendez brothers. I'm gonna do an experiment. I don't know if it's gonna work. I can't do the video because YouTube is slow. They're not up on things. Live stream is way ahead of them with being able to play back video, and I can do fair use, usually news clips and stuff like that. But that's basically the idea of it. I meant to put that. Let me see if I can. No. Let me see. I'm looking for. I'm just trying to. Let me see. I think I can do this. Okay. Morning sky. So this is the weird. This is what's so intriguing and amazing about our judicial system and our processing of crime in this country. It's just amazing. First, you had the idea that if you're going to be sentenced to life, 20 years or 50 years of life, um, or life imprisonment, and there's no possibility for parole, that sticks. You don't have any other chances. You're done. That's over. This didn't happen with the Menendez brothers. They were granted parole in the springtime, and they were denied just a few hours ago, from what I understand, or yesterday, or today. Um, it just doesn't sit well with me. I'm saying if they was niggas, I wonder if it would be the same situation. Because niggas get let off too. I have to give credit to the judicial system. DNA, the what is it called? The Innocence Project. DNA has connected so many people to um outside of the crime. It connected them outside of the range of the space, and said that other DNA was involved, and they were cleared, and they were spending 30 years in prison, and they got like maybe $6 million or $30,000 or no dollars, and just said, have a nice life. Sorry about the time we took away from your life. um it's really despicable. Really despicable. um these Menendez brothers, they have the opportunity to be released probably in the next probably 5 to 10 years, I would say. I can see that. I saw a young black woman holding up a sign, free the Menendez brothers. Really, would you be doing that if it was Leroy Jenkins and he had the same issue where he shot and killed with shotguns his mother and father? The Mendez brothers got a gun. That's like the Aerosmith song. Janie's got a gun. It almost is the exact same situation. She killed. No spoiler alert. In the song, the young lady kills her father after being sexually abused, and that's the alleged claim that Lyle and Erik have leveled against their parents, or well, especially their father, in the past few years. Um, it it's it's just intriguing how the system works. Some people go to death row, innocent of every crime that's leveled against them, and they're fried, or they have the lethal injection, or they're gassed, or put on a firing squad, or hanged, or something like that. Just it's really a shame. It really is a shame how we don't display the fact that these people should stay behind bars. I mean, there were minor violations. I guess they could be major violations. The judge ruled that I think Lyle Menendez had a cell phone that he used. That was weird. He used it twice, so that was a violation, and that precipitated him not being able to see with his family for a extended period of time. Um, they said basically the I think the district attorney said basically you've been a model citizen, a model inmate, a model prison inmate. So I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna see if this works. This may not work, but I'm gonna try it. This is kind of goofy. Okay, could you hear that? Could you hear that, Rick James? You can hear a pin drop. It's not really a pin. This is the silent Scottish Undersea Stream fan. How is it silent? I see my mic is working. What are you talking? Can you not hear me? My mic sounds nice. And oh, you didn't hear. Oh, okay. You didn't hear anything. See, that's why I was just testing it. Thank you. You should hear me talking now. Okay. Okay, I was just testing it out. I was seeing if it would pick it up somehow. YouTube is way, way behind. They're so behind the times. They don't have a clue as to how to properly use video and audio, and then StreamYard is like you can only use 20 hours a month or something like that, and before you have to buy, you have to purchase a plan. It's all part of the game. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is work. This is work. This isn't just about how I'm just getting on the computer. Let me get on the video and tell some jokes. This is work. I'm putting in work right now. If you can't respect that, get the hell out of here. I know it's not you, Rick James. I'm not talking to you. But anyone else, any other trolls and stuff, y'all can stay around. But know that this is about business. This is about money. This is about making my money, my business. And that YouTube is way behind, way behind. They should have a feature that you should automatically have if you have a channel. And I'm so close to being 1,000. It's disgusting. I need 12 more people. 12. 12. I have 988 subscribers. All I need is 12 people. Say, hey, let me see what this goofy nigga's got to say. 12. But anyway, the Menendez brothers. I just want to know if there was two black niggas, Leroy Jenkins and LaRon Jenkins. Would they get the possibility for parole? I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that. Once they say you're sentenced, depending on good behavior and which they didn't exhibit, which I always confuse them. Lyle and Erik and Lyle, one or the other. But I think it was Lyle. He violated the cell phone usage laws. He had contraband cell phone that he talked to family members with, and the judge ruled that as gangland like activity. That was gang like activity. So you have to take into account that fact. The Menendez brothers, they're part of popular culture. They have movies and dramatic films and documentaries about them. There's all sorts of different people that are championing them. The black people, yes, let the Menendez brothers out. We got to get them out of jail. We got to get them out of jail. Leroy Jenkins goes to jail. Oh, well, let that nigga sit down. Let that nigga sit. Because the Menendez brothers are like phenotypically white. They're kind of like Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez and Martin Sheen. They look white, but they got brown blood flowing through their veins. They already messed up. They already messed up with Gypsy Rose. They better not do it again. I don't know what you're talking about, Rick James. Who's Gypsy Rose? I should know who Gypsy Rose is, but I'm not recalling it right now. Explain that a little bit further, Rick James. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Who do you mean? Who are you? Gypsy Rose. I'm not from. That sounds familiar, but I'm not. I'm drawing a blank. Okay, the law needs to use them as an example. No one will. Well, answer my question first, Rick James. Who's Gypsy Rose? Who's Gypsy Rose? Gypsy Rose is another character who off her parents. Fact. I did not see. I learned more from this whole platform than anyone else. Gypsy Rose. Sentence served in whole, no longer under court. Okay, so she's. It says that Gypsy Rose is an American woman who rose to worldwide prominence when she was convicted of second-degree murder in Springfield, Missouri, for the death of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, who subjected her to lifelong physical, mental, and medical abuse. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. She was paroled after 8 years near the end of December 2023. Given the sensational aspects of Gypsy Rose's childhood, including her mother forcing her to pretend to be disabled and that's Munchausen syndrome, and terminally ill, she gained widespread media attention. That's the Capriccios too. It's Munchausen syndrome and Capriccios. Hulu produced a limited series, The Act, released while she was still in prison. She had been featured on interviews on a variety of TV shows such as Dr. Phil and other programs have been based on her story. In 2024, her own reality show, Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, premiered on Lifetime. God damn. See, I did not even. That wasn't even on my radar screen. Thank you, Doc. I was about to call you Doctor. Thank you, Rick James. I appreciate that. Yeah, she offed her mother. She killed her mother for years of mental, physical, and other abuses. Dr. Rick Uames. Yeah, Dr. Rick Uames. You got to control that keyboard, my friend. You got to control the keyboard. Don't let it control you. Okay, so I can't run audio or video on YouTube because they're like lame. They're Lulu as to what you should be able to do with various clips. I mean, if you can do it through StreamYard, why can't you do it on here? What the hell? What the hell? I don't understand. I don't understand. But anyway, Menendez brothers, I'm just saying they're phenotypically white. If you saw them in the street, you're like, oh yeah, the white guys, two white guys. No, they're Menendez. What is that from their father? He had to be Latino or Hispanic. I'm gonna look it up right now. See, Jose Enrique Menendez. That he's Cuban. He was Cuban. Kid, where's Kitty? Let's see. He met Mary Louise Kitty Anderson, so I guess she was white. That's another thing too, because they have stories that I enjoy, that I regard as great literature. But they just have the Hispanics. It's like close enough. They're light, bright, and damn near white. That's the Hispanics in, but no darkies, no niggers, no darkies. Be right back, sir. Important business call. Okay, but no darkies, no darkies whatsoever. That's the reality of that. Everything from the great, the masterpiece, the monumental work of all time, I would say of all time, Atlas Shrugged, had white people and Hispanic people. Everybody else, not so much. And that's okay. I like that. If Ayn Rand wanted those people in her book, she would have put them. But she didn't want them. So you got to respect that. She didn't want them. But for me, I'm going to put in the people that I think should be considered, the Negroes, the FBA, the Foundation of Black Americans. That's just for me. I think that's rationally self-interested for me. What was rationally self-interested or selfish for Ayn Rand? It's the same thing. So it goes with that. And same thing. I Love Lucy. Could you imagine? Like you could have another. Here we go. Cubans. Oh, they're close to being European. They got straight hair. Their skin is pretty light complected. Their children are going to be very light complected, light, bright, and probably white. So there's a weird situation going on here because I still think it's racially motivated that they get parole. I could have sworn. I mean, just the facts of the case. They shot their parents to death with shotguns. The mother who was wounded, tried to walk away, and one of the brothers ended her life by shooting her while she was trying to get, go for help or find some refuge or somewhere. It's wild. It's wild. So I'm just saying, I'm just wondering if Anton Hamilton and uh, Tyrell Hamilton could get out of this situation. I'm just wondering. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that these two brothers have committed a heinous crime and deserve to stay locked up for the rest of their lives. I don't think they should get parole. I could be wrong. I could be eating my words later on saying, yeah, they should have got out. But I don't think so right now, as it stands. I don't think so. That's probable or rational to consider them to be among the populace. They should be among the population of prison inmates. Also, I want to say about that. You can hear a pin drop. No, you do not hear. You do not hear the pin drop. You hear the pin fall or strike. You can't hear a pin drop. That's what's so messed up about our language. Some of it gets kind of garbled. You don't hear the pin drop. Of course, you don't hear a pin. You hear it strike the ground. You can hear the pin strike. That's what it should be. You you can't hear a pin drop. So I'm just blown away by the situation. I'm completely blown away. Let me see. I'm just playing around right now. I'm not even seeing what is going on. This is the first YouTube stream without StreamYard I've had in days, if not weeks, something like that. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's still I'm able to get my ideas out there. I'm working on getting those 12 people, whoever those 12 people are. I had so many ones. Everything is drying up. Everything's drying up. My vocal is drying up. As a matter of fact, let me put that on in the live chat. My vocals drying up. My YouTube just rebounded. It just rebounded. It had dipped, into the lower thousands or lower hundreds of views. Now it's in the thousands again. So if you don't have, if you just have enough time, check out my story. Menendez brothers. Whew. They had everything going for them. Then they started stealing. They started robbing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then when they had the settlement or something like that, they were getting Porsches and hiring tennis instructors and stuff like that. It's like, what in the hell? Um, it's a weird space. It's a weird space. This judicial system is so broken, so weird, so goofy. People on death row right now are innocent. There's at least one person out of the entire 2 million population, whatever population on death row, probably what 200,000, maybe less, 2,000. I don't want to, make a blatant statement, but there's at least one person on death row somewhere in the United States of America who didn't do the crime, but is on death row. That's pretty scary. That's the only opposition Ayn Rand had to capital punishment, was that the fact that an innocent life would be snuffed out. That's pretty strong. Damn it. YouTube doesn't even have chyrons you have to put on the bottom of the screen to say who you wanted to do. Uh, salute King Hazy. I salute you, sir. Salute. Salute to King Hazy. Make sure you tell 12 people about me. Tell That's gonna be the new tag. Tell 12. People gonna think that what? Talk to the police? What? What? Huh? No, tell 12 people about me so I can get 1,000 subscribers. The only thing I like about the YouTube thing is the feature where automatically puts in the person's name, so you have to type it all out. That's one good thing about it. But I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. I'm talking about the Menendez brothers. I told you all you gotta do is come hit the panel and TMG stream, and you're gonna pick up some subs. All right, so I gotta remember that. I gotta remember what put it in the link to the live chat in the live chat, please, King. Put it in the link again, because I going through so much stuff. My dumb ass forgets stuff. The Menendez brothers, they are examples. They've made themselves examples of what it means. I mean, you don't kill your parents. They brought you into this world. Of course, you don't kill anybody else, but especially not your parents. Especially not your parents. What you do is you go to the proper authorities. You go to people and you say, "Look, Dad's been doing stuff to me I don't like. He's doing stuff to my brother. Some things aren't going well. I'm not feeling it. I'm not doing it." That's what you do. You don't get shotguns and shoot them point blank range. That's horrific. That is not to be tolerated. And they deserve to be in prison for their actions. And I'm just trying to think of a black, brother team who had the idea of making it an issue for them to be totally unhinged like the Menendez brothers. Has that ever happened in history? How many times in history has black brothers totally stepped out of bounds and did something so horrific and heinous that it warranted time behind bars? And if they were granted parole after being denied it, that's the reality. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I would love to see a documentary or dramatic series detailing two black brothers that killed their parents. They probably on death row with no opportunity for parole, or they would have given 6 life sentences back to back to back, consecutive. I always get concurrent and consecutive mixed up. I forget what concurrent means. I kind of understand what consecutive is, right at one after the other. That I understand, but it really doesn't matter. It's really for parole. It's really for you saying that you're not going to be eligible for parole anymore once you get all those years attached to your name. Menendez brothers, they represent something so monstrous. Oh, here we go. Concurrent means serving both sentences at the same time. Gotcha. Thank you. See, King Hazy corrected my dumb ass. Appreciate it, sir. Appreciate it. But hit me, here's my email. Send me the link to TMG. I haven't been on, to be honest, I haven't been on there in a long time. I've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. That's my email address, King Hazy. I would love to go back on TMG. I was on there for a minute, and I just kind of fell off. To be honest with you, I appreciate you still kicking it with me. Okay, you got it. Okay, okay. No, no, no. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely check this out. Chef TMGZ. Whenever they're live, I'll make sure I get a. I should be getting. I'm subscribed already. I don't know why I'm not getting um notifications. That's weird. He knows who you are already too. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so I just need I'll go on there. Not spam and everything. I interact with them and see and just drop a hint. I'm looking for subscribers. All I need is 12 more to get 1,000. So I think it'll be good business. I'll promote him. He'll promote me. It'll be good business. All right, Menendez brothers. Menendez brothers. The song just comes into my head. Jamie's got a gun by Aerosmith. That's pretty. The gist of that song is what happened with the Menendez brothers. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you, King Hazy. My bad. Stay on topic. No, you're good. Don't worry about it. I asked you. You're okay. You're okay. I was asking you. What did your daddy do? Like Jimmy's got a gun. That's what happened. Were they inspired by that? I mean, what year was it? I think it was like 1990. So there's a chance that let's see. I said Janie's. It's Janie. Janie's got a gun. Let's see here. It says it was released in the single from the album Pump. Steven Tyler says he wrote the song in his basement just effing around. Oh, Janie's got a gun. I got goose pimples. I sat for months waiting for the Oracle door to open. Then I looked over at a Time magazine and saw the article on 48 hours, minute by minute, handgun deaths in the United States. Then I got off on the child abuse angle. I heard this woman speaking about how many children are attacked by their mothers and fathers. It was effing scary. I felt, man, I gotta sing about this. This is real. This is it's real stuff. It took him 9 months to complete the lyrics. Jesus. But you're also inspired by stories he heard while undergoing drug rehab from another addict who turned to drugs after being abused by his father. He explains, in the 1980s, I was in a recovery program where I met so many women who had experienced incredibly painful and debilitating sexual, mental, and physical abuse. Those events put them on a path of suffering that led to anything from abusing drugs to self-harm to many other destructive behaviors to massive pain. It was also around that time that I wrote the song Jane's Got a Gun, which tells the story of a young girl who was abused by her father. Let me just get to that point. Let me see. Okay. Okay. So this is all. I mean, this is just coincidence. I don't think it had anything to do with the Menendez brothers. He just came up with the chords and the lyrics all by himself. Is a Grammy Award winner for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or a Group with Vocal. That's pretty interesting. But that's what you don't do. You don't do that. Obviously, you're gonna go to prison. You're gonna spend time. You're gonna sit down. For some time or another. You don't do that. Obviously, I mean, it's the understatement of the year. Don't kill your parents. Like that is what's happening, though. That's what's happening. And in the judicial system, I swear, it just baffles me how sometimes people get let off. I mean, look at the Diddy case. Look at the Diddy case. He got let off so easy. He got let off smooth. We'll see how his sentence is going to be. But he got time for prostitution, which should be legal. It's not, so he has to face the consequences. But I understand. My plan is to show you that I understand. It's gonna be time served for Diddy? That's what you're saying? Possibly, and what is it gonna be? 5 years, 10 years probation, something like that. He's not even gonna see any prison time. He's just gonna have jail time served. Time served. I mean, prostitution. That Rico. That Rico was life or some years. It would have been some time. Yeah, maybe some home modern, have a ankle bracelet. He can go out, every 50 feet, something like that. He can't be around women or something like that. I don't know. They said something about that earlier in the case. They said something about that, but just imagine if Sean Combs would have shot Janice Combs, Mama Combs. He'd have been in jail for life. He'd have been put away. No opportunity for parole. That's why I just don't understand. Like they're like, no parole, and they're like, you know what? It's been some years. They're eligible for parole, but we're going to deny them. And I just the whole makeup of the system, it just completely baffles me. It completely baffles me. It takes me to another space of understanding. So the Menendez brothers, and even with what's her name, Gypsy Rose, she wasn't black. She wasn't black. This is the racist show tonight, or this morning. Excuse me, not tonight. This morning. This is the racist show. I'm all about black power right now. I've been dumping on black people so long. uh, I'm just wondering. I just wonder what would happen. That she's a yellow woman. She killed her mother. She got 10 years in prison. Served her time. I think she's out now. But this is the case for doctors. This is the case not for even lawyers. This is the case for doctors. This is the case for psychiatric professionals. And law and then law courts and lawyers get involved. When um, it's shown that they actually abuse their children. They endanger the welfare of a child, their own child, or children. That's the reality of that. That's the truth. What we don't understand is the fact that most people don't equate, the law with actions. I guess the Menendez brothers knew the law, but then proceeded to act in a way that was detrimental and horrific and heinous, despite whatever their alleged abuses may have been. I just don't see it. It's very very creepy. It's a creepy, scary kind of thing. When you have two brothers that are, looked on, oh my god, they look kind of good looking. They're not, terrible, like ogres. They look all right. You know, as a straight man, I can say that. Um, but they're light, bright, and damn near white. They got Hispanic blood. Don't get it confused. Menendez. Let's not get it confused. Their father's from Cuba, but it's so close to being white. And I'm surprised they kept their last names. I'm surprised they didn't change their names, like Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. Salute to Emilio Estevez. He was the only one. Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen were like, nah, we're gonna change our name. They ain't gonna hire us in Hollywood. They ain't gonna look at us like that. So that's just was weird to me. I'm glad that the late great Paul Mooney, salute to him. He said, about Baba Lu being an African god and Congo Jones being from Africa, and what would have Desi Arnaz? What would he choose? He's in the South or in any really in parts of the country in the mid 50s, 40s, 50s, something like that. Even in Hollywood, where would he go? Would he go to whites only or colored? Who talks about that? I don't know. I don't think I'm the only one that's brought that up because, like I said, Mr. Paul Mooney said he's a nigga. He's a nigga. Don't get it confused because he had a white wife on TV, 40 million people viewing every week. Had the production company Desi Lou Productions. You know, was a womanizer and an alcoholic. That just trips me up too. Alcoholics and drug users. I I've tried alcohol. I've done it. I've been drunk before. I've never been high on any weed or any other thing, coke, nothing like that, heroin, nothing. Never been high on any scheduled or narcotic drugs. But I never OD'd on my prescription drugs or anything like that. I could. I have Klonopin. That's a controlled substance. If I took 2, 3, 4, 5 of them mugs, I'd be feeling some type of way. But I don't want to do that because I know that I is it a confluence of faith and just obliterating reality? I don't because like the reason why there have to be rehabilitation centers, there has to be a rehabilitation center, I think, on every corner. Because I think there's going to be people that are going to be using drugs. Once I say that there's going to be a day where all drugs are legalized and all drugs are able to be distributed and no tax on income, but on and consumption tax, there's going to be millions of people that are going to be in rehab, probably more than there are now, that can't get drugs easily. I want 17-year-olds to get drugs easily, 17 and above. I want that to happen. If you can serve your country and possibly be maimed or killed in action, You should be able to, bang some heroin in your arm if you want to, or between your toes. I'm going off a little bit of the subject, but you understand what I'm saying? Like they had, rehabilitation stories from they had rehabilitation stories from the Menendez brothers, allegedly. Um but that just, it just tears at your mind because you're not really focused on something that is so just monstrous, just evil, downright evil. Killing your parents, murdering your parents. It wasn't even like they had, some kind of weapon against them. They just murdered them without remorse. And like I said, they would have been. Would there be an uproar if these were the Johnson brothers, Daryl and uh, Carmelo Jenkins or Johnson, Derek and Carmelo Johnson, if they had, committed these crimes, would it be a different situation? Would it be a different case? I wonder. I wonder. I don't think it's something that is too far removed from reality to say. I don't think it's something that's too um illegitimate, that it doesn't have merit. It definitely has merit. It definitely has pull. It has the weight of many many burdens placed upon its back. And it just needs to shrug like Atlas. This is one thing I don't like about YouTube. They don't show the time when the message was put in the live chat. It's always a give and a take, I guess, with everything. Well, they got this, but they ain't got that. Oh, they got this, but they ain't got that. There is a sense that the Menendez brothers probably will see the light of day in freedom. I think they will. I really do. I mean, they're gonna clean up everything they did with the cell phones to all the different things that they may have not been a model inmate, and they'll be let go. I see that as happening. I see that. I can definitely see that as an occurrence. They make, so I don't know what they do. I don't know where if they have any money, if they have anything or any rights to any of the documentaries or um feature was a limited series or anything like that regarding their situation. But I think they'll come out, with money, with prestige, even though that doesn't mean anything. With a great amount of followers. They'll have subscribers. All they need to do is hook up a YouTube screen, and they'll have thousands of subscribers in a day. Trust me, it won't take them long to get any subscribers. All they need is to just set up a broadcast. I don't like to use the word podcast because there's no iPods, but they'll set up, and be accounted for based on what happened. What is it now? 36 years ago. And how they were tried and found guilty 29 years ago. It's really sad. I just the judicial system is just so broken. It needs to be repaired. It needs to be boosted. It needs to be more robust and stronger, and clarify which is what. I just got taken by that. First, no, you get no parole. You're in 100 years to life, whatever the case might have been. I'm getting that wrong, but then it said 50 years of life with the opportunity for parole. Okay, kill your parents, spend over 30 years in prison, and see what or close to 30 years in prison, I guess it is now. But see what happens. Just see what happens. That's all you gotta do. That is the power of the judicial system. That is the might. That is what makes it possible for us to even function. I mean, it is decent, but it's not robust. It's not strong to the point of meeting out justice in the correct way. There's still too many gaps and holes and loopholes and different situations that can be detrimental for the individual. And that is the basic unit of all societies, because there is no society without the individual. Society is just a collection of individuals. And that's all I'm worried about. I care about the individual. I care about the Menendez parents. Despite the abuse, allegedly. Despite that, he shouldn't have been killed. He shouldn't have been murdered. He should have been brought up on charges if that were anything. If that were close to it. Same thing with the mother. What she knew, of course, she knew. I'm saying allegedly, she knew that they were getting abused. Allegedly, and what does that say? What does that give you an impetus to do? It should give you the drive to combat all these different ideals. Everything that we consider should be brought to bear in the sense that considering, different crimes like this, they're just sensationalized. It's so huge. It's such a big, almost celebrated kind of situation. That's what is so damaging and derogatory towards our legal system. It's that we don't have the ability to fully understand how we can come together and fight, you know, these things. And like I said, free Menendez brothers. I'm like, yeah, okay. Free Menendez brothers. There's scores of white, black, brown, red, yellow. Maybe not as many red and yellow, but they're still in there. People that are sitting with no parole, life sentences, didn't commit the crime, waiting on the Innocence Project. And that's an interesting thing too. The Innocence Project, it freed a man. You might have heard about this in the news it was a few weeks ago, I think, or a few months ago. He actually got free because of the Innocent program. The Innocent was it the Innocent Project, excuse me. Then he went out and did more crimes and took his ass right back to prison. Like, some people just don't get it. That's what I think is going to happen with the Menendez brothers. Somebody's going to cross them, one of them, Lyle or Erik, and they're going to take their ass back to prison. The leniency, the ability for DNA testing to be admitted into court proceedings and investigations. That's extraordinary. That's what keeps people, intrigued. It just brings you to a point where you're not even able to, even have too much of a sense of what is going on. Because the judicial system and the legal system is so corrupt in a lot of ways, and so biased and so non-objective, that it's difficult to even wade through the waters of legal issues. That's what's so damning. That's what creates the most animosity among everybody, from the accused to the lawyers to the prosecutor to the DA to everybody that's involved, to the judge to the jury. And anyone could be, anyone can fall victim to the judicial system. It doesn't take much. But I'm just glad that there is at least the Innocence Project. Even if they have people that go against, what they just try to fight everything they could to make sure they could do. Let me make sure I say that right. I'm gonna take a pause for the cause. Man isn't one issue I just saw. A man who spent 20 years in prison for wrongful conviction dies. I'm looking for it right now. Give me some time. Trying to make sense of what I said. I'm not seeing it though. I'm not finding it, but there was. I remember in my head. It was a few months ago. A guy that was released on Innocence Project and then just did the same exact crime or a similar crime all over again. So in these closing moments, I just want to thank Rick James, Sir Rick James, Mr. Rick James, King Hazy, Only Hayes YouTube channel. Salute to you, sir. I appreciate you both for coming in here. You didn't have to come in here. I could have just wrote in by myself. I just run my mouth. I don't have any videos or anything because it's YouTube and they're in the stone age when it comes to playing videos, which is ironic because You can play videos through StreamYard on YouTube for YouTube, but you can't play it on YouTube, which is weird. I just really just little goofy things like that just get me. But I'm thinking about purchasing. I'm about to make a purchase soon, possibly next month or October. We'll just see how that plays out. So I thank you very much. I will see you sometime tomorrow. Take care.